Have you guys ever watched the Publix commercial where they're making that soup for the first date and wondered what it is? Well, today I got the recipe.
Bigfoot Cooking.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking, where today we are making that soup that's on the Publix commercial. You know, the one with the background music everybody eats when you come to my house? Don't ask me to sing it. A, I can't sing, and B, I'm sure there's copyrights that say don't sing. Actually, they probably say, dude, please don't sing. So what do you say we get to making a recipe? How about some red curry noodle soup? That's right, that's what he was so nervous about on his first date. A whole lot of ingredients, but a whole lot of good. So we're gonna start this out with 6 ounces of rice noodles. Now, they were out of the actual like really thin rice noodles, so adapt, improvise, overcome. We just use the rice noodle spaghetti. Same flavor, but a little different texture, but if you don't tell your date, they'll never know. That's the joy of cooking yourself. If you mess up, just cover it up with something else. It's a secret. So we got our 6 ounces of rice noodles. We got a teaspoon of sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of olive oil, a half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, a yellow onion, a red pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, and it's gonna wind up being about a tablespoon of ginger once we get it peeled and crushed up. We've got 3 tablespoons of red curry paste. I mean, how else would it be red curry noodle soup without a little bit of red curry paste? We have 4 cups of homemade chicken broth because, well, we open the cans at home. That makes them homemade. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon of soy sauce, a whole can of unsweet coconut milk. Don't get the light, don't get the sweetened. I mean, stick with the stuff here because you're on a date, you're making this nice. Calories don't count for that first impression, right? We're gonna have about a 1/4 cup of mint leaves. We're gonna use the zest and the juice of the lime. We're gonna be using 1.5 pounds of jumbo shrimp. Now in this case, I've got them, you wanna go ahead and get them peeled and deveined. These are tail on, but it's up to you if you wanna do tail on, tail off. They look a little fancier with the tail on, but they eat a lot better with the tail off. That way you ain't gotta think about it, you just... A 1/4 cup of cilantro. Now, in this case, there are some folks in the house that think cilantro tastes like soap. Yes, those people exist. They're out there. It's real. So this won't get added until the end in this case. Normally you would cook with it for the flavor, but I don't want to ruin the meal for half the people in this house. We've got about another 1/4 cup of basil leaves and a jalapeno that we're going to cut up real nice at the end to put on top of the soup. So let's get started on this whole meal prep by going ahead and getting the rice noodles a-cooking. Now to start this out, this kind of begins like spaghetti. We've got our pot of water here, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the water boiling. We're gonna go ahead and make it nice and hot. And unlike pasta, we're actually not gonna salt the water for rice noodles. It will absorb some of that flavor, and we don't wanna add too much salt to this dish, because matter of fact, there's not even salt in the ingredients, so maybe you don't need it for this. Let's find out at the end. Now that our water is nice and bubbly and boiling hot, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our noodles and just plop them right into the water. Nothing too complex there, and turn the gas off. And we're just gonna let it sit in the hot water. Like I said, unlike pasta, you don't have to keep it boiling. Literally just take what we got here, cover it up, forget about it for 8 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. But while that stuff's going, how you think of the new shirt? That's right, you didn't know Bigfoot was a Bob Ross, did you? I found this thing, and I'll send you, the link will be down below, but I found this guy and I'm like, ooh, gotta have it. So ordered it up, got it with a quickness, and I really like it. So let's give this 8 minutes and then we're gonna strain. So now we've got our rice noodles drained off. What we'll do, we'll go ahead and set these in a separate bowl, add our sesame oil, just pour it in there. You know, actually the sesame oil does have a really nice smell to it. And then what we'll do, we'll go ahead and mix it in. That way the noodles don't stick together. And once we get this good and mixed up, we'll set it to the side and we'll start working on the rest of this stuff. Now, before we get cooking, because once you get going with this, actually it moves pretty quickly. We're gonna go ahead and prep all our little things here so that way we can just slam them into the pot. So let's start with cutting the onion. And then we cut up our red bell pepper. Time to beat up on our poor little innocent garlic here. And then of course our 2 knobs, fingers, whatever. Let's peel the ginger. All right, now that these 4 guys are done, let's head to the cooking pot. Now let's get this started with our aromatics, as you see, the smelly good stuff. We'll start out by putting our olive oil in here. That way nothing sticks to the pot, of course. And then comes our crushed red pepper flakes. Just a little bit of something there. We'll go ahead, we got the heat on low right now. We want to bring that up to temp and then get this nice and warmed up and get it ready for the gang to join in. Now that our oil is nice and warmed up and infused with all those red pepper flakes, let's go ahead and start adding in the aromatics, beginning with the onions. Just pour right in. Ooh, got a little sizzle. You know you're at the right temp. Get them guys mixed in and coated up. Add a little bit of the red colorization to it. You know them red peppers is good. I mean, especially in something like this. Let's take the world's best garlic press. Go ahead and run the garlic through it. And I'm gonna show you a little something else to do with this guy too. We do step 1, rub-a-dub-dub, and step 2, squish. Look at there. Now these are known as garlic presses, but guess what? They work with ginger too. Check this out. Take one of our ginger knobs, plop it in, and give it a squeeze. Look at there. No muss, no fuss. Ginger for all of us. Ginger's in the pot. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna cook this down for about 3 or 4 minutes. Let everything soften up and sweat it out, as they say. And then we add a little more to it. Whoa, everybody's looking good. Everybody's smelling good. Now let's go ahead and take our curry and add to it. We wanna go ahead and plop it in there and mix it so that way all of this stuff gets a good coating of flavor. Now that everybody's nice and red, let's go ahead and start pouring in some of our chicken broth. Ooh, I mean, it's a soup, right? Otherwise, you'd have a paste. Changes all the rules without it. Go ahead and mix everybody in with this and then continue on with the mixing. We gotta sweeten life up, right? A little bit of brown sugar. Bloop, right on in there. Amazing how it disappears in a soup, ain't it? And just a little bit of soy sauce. Whee! Oh, almost everybody's in this pool. We just got one more thing to add. We're gonna take our coconut milk, it's kind of thick. It's almost like heavy cream. So we're gonna use a whisk for this one. And what we'll do, we'll get this a stirring and a going and just slowly pour it in. So that way we don't mess this up. Oh, you know, if you watch that commercial, you can see the guy who's making this, and he looks so nervous when he was doing this. But guys, this is some of the simpler things in life. This is gonna be so good. I mean, it's got to be. It smells great. The whole house is smelling delicious. So now that we got this fully incorporated and mixed, what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn the heat up on it, bring it up to a boil, and then bring it back down and just let it simmer. Now that we've come to a good boil, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna turn the heat down on it so it's just a low simmer. And we're gonna let this just sit here and marinate in the glory of its goodness for about 8 minutes. And while this is going on, let's go ahead and get over here and prep the rest of our goodness that's going in here. Now we'll start out, we'll go ahead and take our good sprig of basil here. We'll take all the leaves and pluck them guys off because the stem really doesn't have the flavor. It's not bad, but it's not what we're after. So we're gonna pull all the leaves off. And the best way to do it is you just roll it up, get it nice and tight, and then just come in with the knife and cut it into little pieces. And then we'll come back at it this way. That way it's all nice and shredded up. And there's the basil. Now let's get to the mint. Same thing, we're gonna take our mint, kind of pull the stems away from it. That way you don't have the woody part of it. And just like with the basil, you just kind of try to roll it up, removing all sticks and stems. And just a fine little chop. Now for the cilantro, it's not as bad. We're just gonna take and kind of curl up the end here, and we're just gonna chop away. Do I need the base? Nope. But I do need the rest of it. Oh, I love the smell of this stuff. It bothers me so much that not everybody likes the taste of it, but for those that do, this is such a nice derivative. Now for the lime, what we're gonna go ahead and zest it. Basically, you wanna get the outside off of it, but you don't wanna get into the pith. That's the white underneath. You go too far, it changes the flavor, and not what you want. The outside will give you a little extra lime flavor, but the pith, ooh, you done messed up. So we're just gonna take our little grater and we're gonna peel it down. And there you go. One funny looking lime. Now we'll go ahead and cut it in half and we'll work on getting the juicy juice out too. Not that hard, just a little squeeze into the bowl. Maybe I should have made margaritas too. And there you have it, little lime juice, little lime zest. Ooh, we're gonna do something good. We got about 2 more minutes till we add the magic back to the pot. Let's get ready over there. All right, after a little simmer, let's see what's hiding under the hood. A nice steam facial. Oh, the smell. I tell you what, wait till you guys whip this up in your house. Now that we got that nice and cooked, let's go ahead. That's right, it's shrimp time. We're gonna go ahead and add these guys right on in here. Come on, baby. Ooh. Now the nice thing about shrimp, if you think about it, they have like an internal, they tell you when they're done. You know, they go in one color, but once they turn red, ooh, they ready. Usually about 3 minutes, but you just kind of go by color as well. Now, let's spice up our life. Let's add the mint. Oh, almost messed up. Almost added the cilantro. Can't do that yet. I just got to add that to mine. And the basil. Slide on in there, guys. Ooh. Get a little mix up going on here. A little bit of lime juice and lime zest. Whoop, right on in there. Now we'll bump the temp up to about medium. And like I say, 3 minutes in, we should be good. 3 minutes has gone by and we're in the bubbling stage. Let's go ahead and slide our noodles right back in there. We'll get them back into the pot gently because we don't want them to go everywhere now, do we? Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's see, we can go ahead and cut the heat off now because this is real hot, real good, and smells so nice. I'm gonna give it a few minutes just to cool down a little bit because it is bubbling hot. We'll serve up a plate and let's see what we got. All right, it's time for the big show. Whew, still steaming hot. I know, all right, y'all quit telling me that I'm impatient. I know this, but what we have in here, look at there, bowl full of noodles and goodness, shrimp, everything hanging out the top. Oh, this is gonna be some good eating right here, especially when, you know, tell you what, let's go ahead. We'll take it from here. We'll take a little bit of the jalapeno. We got thinly sliced. We're gonna lay it right up here on top. Make us a presentation. A little bit of cilantro just to add the color to it. Ooh, this is gonna be good. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna grab me a little bit of shrimp. We're gonna make it real pretty. Now these are just the guys that are floating on top, believe me. I am not reaching in this hot bowl of soup for this. Oh, but I tell you what, I am gonna eat this. As you can see, I've gotten 2 bowls of soup out of this, and there is plenty more. I mean, I tell you what, this right here, this will handle all your hungry needs, especially when you're expecting somebody for dinner, like right now. I hope I'm not too late for dinner. Here you go, Becky May. Oh, that smells wonderful. Would you like some wine with dinner? Oh yes, that would be so delightful. Be right back. So at the end of this, I hope there's 3 things that you guys take away from this. 1, that red curry noodle soup is actually not that hard to make, even though the guy in the Publix commercial was so nervous about making it. Turned out really easy and really well. 2, I hope you know that Bigfoot is real. And 3, I think it's time y'all go home. Y'all take care. Oh, forgot the glasses. Would you like a full glass or a half glass?